What's up, everybody? Got Ultimate Series Solstice Round 16 action going on here as Willowkeeper will take on... Shoot, now I forgot their name. God damn it. They're known as GX Gaming, I think, on the Haunter Season... or the Haunter Season 2 thing. They are known as Walrus.net for this series, so that's good for them. They're gonna get some walruses, I guess. Obviously, this is a remade game, as the bans make no sense. They're just banning stuff out and re-picking their heroes. Apparently something went wrong in the first game, and therefore I won't address the bans whatsoever. But we'll see what they can do. I should note that Walrus here on the Legion side is in fact a Gold Division team. They finished 20th overall in Hauntor Season 2 points, so they were on the outside looking into the Season 2 playoffs by one spot. Obviously the first 19 teams, SG gets an automatic bye, the first top 3 or 2 and 3 gets into the second round of the playoffs, and 4 through 19 make it to the group stage of the playoffs, so these guys on Legion are certainly pretty good. They made it up from Bronze and got all the way to Gold Division, and we're one place away from being in the Hauntor Season 2 playoffs. Of course, Tree, fairly well known, did make it to the Hauntor Season playoffs, played in Diamond Division for several cycles at least. I don't know how far back they went, but a team we've seen on several occasions. And they will be taking each other on here. So I think Willowkeeper is certainly the favorite right now, as we know a little bit more about them. But that's not to say that Legion can't do anything. They certainly showed that they were capable in Hauntor Season 2. Regardless, lineups over here: Parasite, Master of Arms, Repulsor, Pestilence, and Bubbles. So Legion lineup pretty solid here, suspecting Parasite jungle, Suicide Bubbles, Pesty, Master mid, and Repulsor in the bottom. So I think the only thing they're really lacking there is team fight and push. They have lots and lots of gank potential, strong carry with not only Pesty but also Dr. Repulsor, and they should be pretty good in most aspects of the game. I think the anti-push is pretty solid as well with Bubbles and Master, so Hellborn could have some issues pushing down towers, but Legion looking like they're fielding a pretty solid lineup here. Lanes are a little bit obvious, but I think they should be able to get past that and rely on the adrenal strength of their heroes. The other thing they have to consider is that these are a bunch of heroes that have similar timings, and that's always a nice thing when you have that synergy between your team. You say, look, when we hit the 15 to 20 minute mark, we're all going to be, just about level 11. We can use the burst potential from Bubbles and Parasite, as well as the initiation from Bubbles and Pesty, and possibly Parasite as well, to start roaming the map. We'll get a lot of kills. It'll be great, and we'll see if they can execute that strategy. Make some room for Doctor to farm and allow him to take them to late game. Meanwhile, on the Hellborn side, we've got Demented Shaman, Pebbles, Warbeast, Engineer, and Plague Rider. So choosing the jungle versus no jungle, as usual, it does tend to favor the jungle team. So we'll see if they can take advantage of that. And I'm gonna assume that this is a support Desham here based on the items. Plague Rider looks like he's actually suiciding here, which is something we haven't seen in a long time. Off to the side, Desham actually puts a Word of Sight in the middle of the Legion jungle, not blocking any camps, just providing it some vision. A little interesting. As Parasite has in fact elected to aggressive jungle, figuring I guess that it'll be easier to gank middle lane if they do that. Master of Arms not sure where he wants to go. I think it's going to depend on who they said suicide. Now they realize it's Plague Rider, so he can head mid and help Pesty out. As on bot, Doctor should have zero problems against this lane. Plague Rider can harass him a little bit, but probably won't get a kill. And when Doctor hits 6, he can easily turn around onto this Plague Rider and should be able to get a kill. So should be pretty easily won here for Legion on bot, as it is their short lane, so that's pretty well expected. Middle lane we have Master and Pesty taking on solo Pebbles right now, as Engineer is heading into the jungle. Trying to deal with this Parasite a little bit, I think. But Parasite has a Skeleton King. And a Minotaur here as well. Desham, not really sure what he wants to do. Puts the heal out there, but Minotaur will be taken over by Parasite here. So Pebbles is alone right now, as both the support heroes on Hellborn are trying to deal with this Parasite. Not really sure why. I don't think it's necessary. Off to the side, we could see some jump here on Pebbles, as nope, Parasite's looking for one of the support heroes up top. Meanwhile, we've got Bubbles in the suicide role going up against that Warbeast, which is a little odd. Very rarely see a short lane Warbeast, I think for good reason. He doesn't need it. It'll be nice to get him a solid enough start, but to be honest, this isn't the best lane here for him. Meanwhile, mid, Boxel actually drops as the Parasite finally comes in with the Minotaur. There's the Acid, and he's just running inside of it. Takes a stun onto Pesty, but it's not going to be enough. And man, that's he just sat in the goo for like a year and a half. So that didn't go very well. Voxel will fall in mid, and his Bloodlust coming out for Legion side, so that's already a bad thing. As a double support strat here, you really need to win 2 lanes. And so far they're not. No surprise on bottom. We've got Dr. Repulsor going up against Plague Rider. Doctor's at 8-3. Plague is at 2-5. Deny obviously helping a lot with that, but Doctor certainly winning this lane now. In middle, we have Pesty at 7-2 compared to Pebbles at 6-1, so Pesty winning his lane as well as the Bloodlust preventing the high farm on Pebbles, who's at just 150 gold per minute now. So nearly everybody on this Legion side so far out-farming their opponents. Up top is perhaps the most concerning. Bubbles is at 210 gold per minute compared to Warbeast at 215 now as he cleans up some creeps, but no doubt Bubbles doing very well up top and should continue to do well as Warbeast just, he can't really take the harass. All these auto attacks coming in from Bubbles, and he has to be worried about Bubbles having the Shell Surf combo. Parasite coming in here for another gank onto Pebbles will take some damage. Kegsen will hit just Pesty, and Pebbles will be able to get the hell out of there, but the continued pressure from Parasite in this middle lane is screwing with Pebbles. And he is unable to effectively get CS. He's having to spend money on regen. It's a bit of an issue for him here. Up top, Bubbles seems to have control of this lane. He just continually harasses out this Warbeast if he ever shows himself. And Warbeast knows that if he gets low enough, Bubbles will kill him. Right now he is level 4, has level 2 Shell Surf, level 1 Song of the Sea. In middle, once again, Stalagmite's coming on to Pesty, so he'll survive, but a Minotaur from Parasite trying to get another kill. It's not going to happen. The continuous pressure up here, and there it goes. Let's just go off for it for a second. And yep, this is just what's going to happen. The Shell Surf and the Port doesn't even need the Song of the Sea. The health tick will help him a little bit, but not nearly enough. And Bubbles gets a kill up there. So I don't really know what this Disham is doing. Oh, he's using the Wolves to jungle. I figured it out. Parasite now, meanwhile, looking for a jump, and Disham's going to take some damage here. He is perhaps in some trouble. There's a Shell Surf, and going to see the Song of the Sea. Yeah, he does get killed by neutral creep, so well done there from Fusen, but it's still a death. And as the Warbeast Wolves die. So that's their strat here, is jungle Warbeast Wolves with Disham, which is definitely a viable strategy. We haven't seen it too much, and I don't think it's that effective. Like, it can be done, but I think pretty clearly you see what's happening. NG is needed in this mid lane to deal with Pesty and Master of Arms, and Pebbles is still losing it pretty hard. Meanwhile, up top, the Warbeast is just getting harassed out, because Bubbles can do that. You know, he provides a lot of magical burst damage early on, and he has quite a bit of chase potential as well, so this Warbeast, just until he hits level 6, is not going to be able to evade Bubbles, and of course the death is going to be leveling slower than Bubbles will, so that's going to be an issue. Bubbles obviously already level 6, has Kelp Field. No mana though, as he has not chosen to go bottle. I think that would have been a very wise pickup, as no doubt Pesty already has the bottle, but 2 bottles on one side, never a bad idea. I think that's actually the preferred route, considering the new refreshment rune. It gives you better rune control because you basically know you're going to get something, and then you can control both top and bots. You say, okay, well, whichever side lane has the bottle, you go to your closer rune, the bot will go to the other one, and we can get both runes every time. Parasite getting forced out of Hellborn Jungle a little bit here, but not by too much. He is level 4, so he's doing fine. 183 gold per minute, not the greatest farm in the world, but he is pretty damn focused on ganking here, not on farming. Obviously, a strict farming Parasite will farm considerably better than this, but I am of the opinion that this is the right thing to be doing. That's this is what you get Parasite for. And actually, he takes it 1 CS there by the Vulture Lord and the Tornado. Anyway, so this is the job of Parasite, really, is he should be ganking as much as possible. Pause coming in, but we don't care. Because as usual, we just skip straight through it. Bubbles in the mid lane looking for a jump here onto Pebbles. Should find it pretty easily. There goes the Chuck. There's a Shell Surf now into 2, and both of them going to be in a lot of trouble. Parasite here as well. Puts the leech onto Engineer. Engi's definitely going to fall here. Take a couple of auto attacks plus a shard shot. Stalagmite's onto Pesty, but I don't think it's going to make a difference, as there's the Impale Stun, and now Pebbles is in a lot of trouble. Doctor coming in to help so well, but not necessary. And we got a 4-0 hero kill advantage here for the Legion team, as Hellborn are just... they're not responding well to this aggressive Parasite, and the fact that they lost top lane is a serious issue. Doctor going to run away, as feeling like he's getting a little too heavily pressured. Plague Rider popping a health pot. Top tower going to be pressured here by Warbeast and his Wolves. So look at GPM charts here, 272 gold per minute for Warby, so his farm is fine, it's not great. 322 on Bubbles, and that's not really what you want to see for the opposing team's suicide. Pebble's going to get locked down here, chucked into the tower. What puts the Impale just has enough to get away. So he will live there, and Legion will maintain their advantage. 2,800 gold, 1,400 experience here, as they're doing very well in the early game. Doctor, for some reason, only at 220 gold per minute. The continuous denies are a big reason for that, but he should still have higher farm than that. He is currently sitting at 23 and 11, as Cruisin drops once again up top. So he gets caught here, takes Skeleton King, there's the net. Bubbles is here as well, plenty of damage. And Bubbles will be able to take him out. 340 gold per minute now on Bubbles, as he is 4-0 and 1. 4-0 and 0, excuse me. I thought he was 4-0 and 1. And he's doing really well, having a very, very, very strong start, obviously. Also got to consider the fact that Bubbles is one of the heroes that helps lock down Warbeast in general. The Kelp Field is not something that Warbeast likes to deal with. He likes to run around and kill stuff, and with the Kelp Field stuns, he is extremely mitigated in his ability to do that, so definitely a good pickup there. Of course, Repulsor has a similar ability with his, he can both chase Warbeast and evade him with his ludicrous speed. So two heroes really here that address the Warbeast. And honestly, same thing with Pesty. The flight makes him so damn fast. Not as fast, obviously, as the ulti Warbeast, but if Warbeast is chasing Pesty down, it's going to be very unlikely that it'll actually kill him, just because he's not going to get that many auto attacks in between the actual movement necessary. Turret going down there, looking for Kelp Field into face hug and everything on Engineer. Warbeast popping the ultimate, looking for a counter kill. Will get Engineer, but Parasite going to die in for it in the meantime. Trying to get D-Sham as well. Last auto attack is there. Bubbles now perhaps in some trouble. Gets taken out by the Plague nuke. Pesty off to the side, trying to get something on Pebbles here. Has the bugs on him. Charge shot as well, plus the Master's Goo. Doctor's here. Plague who's bouncing all around, but not going to be enough, as Master's using the bottle charges here to try to stay alive. Will die, though, to the nuke from Plague Rider, and he gets a double tap. By now, Dr. Repulsor has a Taste Rune, looking for something here, and for some reason not putting any auto attacks in. There's the jump. Will try to take him out here. Now, Plague Haste Rune actually does wear off, and Plague's like, I'm going to deal with this. No. As he is healing up here, and jumps to the trees a little bit, so that's actually a pretty clever move. Knocking down the tree, and we'll be able to get through middle. There's the last use ludicrous speed, and he should be fine. So nice from Doctor coming in there, trying to help to clean up, as the Legion pick up. I think that was basically an even trade. They lost 3. They lost Bubbles, Parasite, and Master of Arms. And they picked off. They just picked off 2. No, they did kill them. They did kill the Pebbles. So both the supports and Pebbles. Charge shot in there on Pebbles, plus the goo and the stun. Turret coming out and the keg. Keg gonna miss though. Parasite's here, and that's gonna be a death on Pebbles. Doctor coming in, also looking for the get onto Engineer. Will have it, and he's dead as well. So that's 2 picks as the entire Legion team, except for Bubbles, clean up both Pebbles and Engineer. Pebbles on Engie lane usually extremely strong, but not so much this game, as that Engineer has died quite a bit. 0-3 and 2. Pebbles is 0-4 and 1, so the aggression from Legion is just a little too powerful. The negative armor in particular, especially all the physical damage that is increased thanks to Master's Goo, as well as his buddy Pesty's ultimate. Meanwhile, on bot, Plague Rider backing off, as Doctor has plenty of mana to catch him, but he will not, because Plague has decided to play defensively. That's the right call. D-Sham continuing to jungle with these wolves, and it's just not proving very effective, I think, is the issue. He's died 3 times, but he's at 186 experience per minute. That's the second lowest on his team, and in fact the second lowest in the game, as we look at it here. He's only level 5. He's basically ceded top lane to Bubbles, as his decision to go into the jungle with the Warbeast Wolves is a large part of why Warbeast lost top lane. Invis Rune here on Master, looking for something. And he just didn't get anything from it. Charge shot there, and D-Sham's dead. I told you! Warbeast now looking for some cleanup, possibly, as Pebbles is also off to the side, but they're like, yeah, this isn't going to happen. Pesty Flight coming in for some support, and it's not going to really be necessary. Counter ward going down there on top of the ward of sight, so they should be able to counter that relatively soon, but with Warbeast Wolves on them, I guess they don't really want to. 11-3 hero kill lead here for Legion, and they've got 4,500 gold, 2,500 experience. Things are looking really good. Look at the GPM charts too. Warbeast is up at 340 gold per minute, but and the horse Bubbles here on the Legion at 366. I don't think that Hellborn need to be super concerned about that, just because Bubbles isn't really that late game a hero. 270 on Pesty, 245 here on Doctor means that the heroes that will carry this Legion team are not particularly farmed. So at this point, it doesn't seem like, despite the resources advantage, Hellborn are particularly far behind, just because they have farm on the right hero, so to speak. Then again, Legion are like, well, we have farm on the right hero too, because Bubbles is going to carry us to the mid game and get Doctor the farm that he wants and needs, which is very possible. So it's going to depend a lot on exactly how much Bubbles can do with this farm, and so far it's done a lot. He's done a lot, 6-1-1, on well over half of his team's kills, and just generally done very well. So I'm a little concerned here that that Hellborn aren't going to be able to survive this mid-game, as both he and Parasite, actually, Parasite's farming pretty well, so is Pesty, so generally solid farm here on the Legion side, especially considering that after the Warbeast, Plague Rider is at 250 and Pebbles is at 160, so Pebbles is going to be a non-factor in this game, and Pebbles is a pretty significant part of their mid-game. Warbeast needs a lot of items, so even with the high GPM, he won't necessarily be the most effective hero in the world until the later part of this, and NG Mine's going to get countered here. And a word of Rev from Master. He's missing a lot, but they do go down. On bot, meanwhile, Plague Rider gets jumped here by everybody, and we'll try to port and realizing, oops. For some reason, Master's call going out onto Bubbles. To pick off the Plague Rider, nice kill there, going in Pesty in favor of Parasite and the Legion team. Mid tower going to get pushed in a bit. Master going to port top, try to defend this top tower. Glyph goes out, and they should get the deny here. As there it is. Warbeast going to pop the ultimate, so he will be okay. Flight active from Pesty, but obviously not going to catch Warbeast when he's in his ulti form. Now Pesty heading back middle. 2 mines behind the tower here defensively for Engineer, so he can do something about somebody putting too much aggression on him. As he has elected to go, 1 in mines here. At level 5, you almost never see that. Usually people wait to level that ability up, because it just doesn't do enough damage. It's too situational. You have to lead them into the mines, more importantly. And it costs a lot of mana to put mines down, so just not the most efficient spell. The turret and the keg are so much better at actually killing heroes, unless you just get continuously lucky. Doctor going to jump in here onto Warbeast. He does have an ultimate. Kelfield as well, and he's basically screwed here. Too much damage coming out. Going to try to turn it a bit here on Doctor, but I don't think it's going to happen. Bubbles has the portal key. Wow, didn't even notice that, but Doctor going to jump in here and get the last hit. Regen rune active. Plague Rider is going to knock it off, and that's a bit of an issue. Panzer Armor now on this Plague Rider. Puts the ultimate down, but Take Cover will help. They're going to try to get him nice Song of the Sea there to finish him off, and Bubbles will get on out of there with a portal key, so a bit unfortunate. Jump now on NG actually as all the mines go off, but not enough. Infest on Parasite, so he'll be okay, and down goes Engineer. So a couple more kills. Warbeast, Plague Rider, and Engineer all picked off in exchange for nothing on the Hellborn side. 3 heroes down on the Hellborn with 4 deaths and 2 others with 2, as it's been pretty equal opportunity dying here for them. Go back to the farm a second. Warbeast still doing alright, but Legion are continuing to increase while Hellborn are sort of going in the opposite direction. Pebbles is getting a little bit better as he's been up top free farming, trying to get his portal key, but so far he is sitting on not even upgraded boots yet. We're already 15 minutes into this game, and he doesn't even have steam boots. Amulet of Exile picked up, probably a little greedy as well, considering it's a build-up item. So if he does want to go to the Ring of the Sorcery, it's going to delay the portal key even further. At this point, he might just have to go straight PK. And that might be why he grabbed the amulet, because it's cheaper than getting steam boots, and it'll give him mana he needs to combo. Sitting at 976 gold per minute right now, so it'll still be a while before he's able to pick up that PK. Warbeast will going to scout a couple heroes here on the Legion side, and Warbeast going to get away. He gets jumped by Bubbles, but there goes the ultimate, and he will leave. And that's the point we're at now. 60 minutes into this game, all of a sudden Legion can already hunt Woods of Hellborn, and they're doing very well. Up top, Pebbles off to the side. Will get found here by Bubbles, and he's in some trouble, as this once again will continue the situation. Stalagmites and Impel at the same time. Pebbles is dead. So all that gold he was farming to try to get his portal key, not there. Parasite, meanwhile, picks up his portal key. So 2 PKs so far here on Legion's side. Pretty fast PK for Legion. Meanwhile, bot Plague Rider gets picked off. Doctor now trying to get away. There's the last hit, and Warbeast is here trying to chase him down, but obviously no access to the ultimate, having just used it defensively, and Doctor will be fine. 16-minute rune is bot Haste. It's been sitting there for 40 seconds, and nobody's grabbed it, despite a rune word there from Hellborn. A little interesting. Pebbles, of course, is the only one with bottle on that team, and that's usually a problem. Angie dropping the energy field, but Doctor's like, well, I'm not inside of it, and I have a haste rune, so now you're dead because there's a forked lightning. Now it's going to wear off. Unbreakable going down there, but it's not going to make a difference. Meanwhile, up top, Pesty's on the next target already, getting Dishon locked down with the bugs, charge shot, and that's plenty. Stalagmites hit too, but they don't care. So Traputo there, picking up a couple of kills. All of a sudden, he's 362 gold per minute, and expecting to see that icon. No, actually, it's going to be a Hellflower, as he's picked up the Arcana. I don't agree with that decision.
The Legion have destroyed
Up top, Upples will finish off a tower. Not only does he have the... Maybe with the early farm he was getting that wasn't so great, he felt like, oh, I gotta go for something that's not as teamfight oriented. But given the makeup of his team, especially with the Parasite, Bubbles, and Pestilence, all providing plenty of burst damage and initiation, it feels like the Icon would have been such a good choice just because... And really how the early part of this game went, where they were killing heroes left and right. And there's a CC vote.
defeat.
That's...
Legion wins.
Okay. So... Tree, I guess, feeling like there's no point in continuing this. Let's go game 2. They're already pretty far down in both resources. I can understand that. Just getting totally destroyed, but perhaps a little surprising they didn't decide to drag it out. Try to get something out of that Warbeast. They had a pretty solid team fight. They had jump, of course. Getting to it would have been a pretty big issue. So, regardless, it looks like the Legion team on WalrusNet will take game 1, and very well played to them in a 17-minute victory. So let's move on to game